The hope of the world is the local church of Jesus Christ, and one of the greatest needs of our nation is for the planting of new churches and the revitalizing of existing churches, which is why church planting and church health is one of the primary focuses of Emmanuel Global. Currently, Emmanuel is investing into 12 church plants across the country, and your faithful and generous investment is bearing a great harvest through these young churches. Let's take a quick tour of Emmanuel's church planting efforts. Andrew Browning in Torrington, Connecticut. John Gibson in New York City, New York. Ken Baker in the Bronx. Robert Martinez in Albany, New York. Anthony Stafford in Schenectady, New York. Keith Birdsong in Bellingham, Massachusetts. Donald Savini in Cape Cod, Massachusetts. Brian Reese in Franklin, Indiana. John Guy in Tempe, Arizona. Matt Chappell in Fontana, California. Philip Jones in Pasadena, California. And Matt Brunk in Maui, Hawaii. The combined average attendance of all of these church plants we support is over 1,500 people every week. It's a miracle of grace that Emmanuel is able to aggressively invest into church planting and pastoral development. Here are just a few highlights of what God has done through your investment. God is doing an indescribable work through Pastor John Guy and their core of team leaders. City Point Baptist Church is not even 2 years old and experiencing revival in hearts. Even through this pandemic, they are seeing souls trust Christ and follow in baptism, and God has met their needs by providing a better meeting space in Tempe, in one of the fastest growing college towns in America. This year, in addition to our monthly support, God has allowed us to send some extra support to provide for a sound system for their new meeting space.
So Emmanuel Baptist Church, thank you. Thank you for praying. Thank you for supporting. Thank you for getting behind a church planter and missionaries and their families and loving them and believing that God is going to use them. And may you continue into this next year, no matter what God may bring, being faithful in serving, in giving, and in praying.
In February of 2020, Pastor Robert Martinez just planted City Rise Baptist Church in Albany, New York, an inner city that is in desperate need of the gospel. Well, it wasn't even a month later that the pandemic hit, and a once vibrant church plant was faced with the daunting task of trying to keep spiritual momentum in a young church. It is truly astonishing seeing what God has done through City Rise in Albany, even through the shutdown.
We realized right away that we needed to make a change and we needed to adapt in the moment. And that's exactly what we did. We've been focusing on how we can train disciples to be disciple makers and how we can look at our city and really reach into those natural rhythms that we're already in to reach people with the gospel of Jesus Christ. We've seen 3 people saved. We've had 2 baptisms. One's coming up here in this coming week. And we've partnered with the Capital City Rescue Mission, which also has given us the room or the location where we're currently meeting at for free, which has been a huge blessing. It's helped us save a lot of funds and finances that we don't necessarily need to spend right now. And so if you would just pray for us that we would be good stewards with the gospel, be good stewards and faithful stewards to God as He has called us as city missionaries here to reach this city for the glory of God.
Also this year, we've had some awesome opportunities to begin supporting 2 new church plants in the Northeast. Keith Birdsong in Bellingham, Massachusetts, and Donald Savini in Cape Cod, Massachusetts. Keith has seen 3 salvations, 4 baptisms, and 10 people added to the church, all in the middle of COVID. The Savinis have launched their church plant in Cape Cod at the end of 2019. In addition to these churches, Emmanuel Global is working to develop and equip hundreds of pastors and churches. We will share more about this in the weeks to come. This is just a quick snapshot of what God is doing through your generosity. He is changing lives across the country and around the world. Pray for our church planting partnerships. Pray that God will encourage these pastors, provide for their needs, and give to them fantastic fruit for the gospel.